Hey, it's Chris Bowling.
Hey, it's Chris Beyer. CB, good morning. We're in focus with Craig Janssen from Macon Construction. Craig, thanks for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good to be here. Excited to do this with you.
Excellent.
Absolutely. So I know you're new to Macon and you've come from a different background than construction and ag, but who are you? What's your background? What brought you to Macon Construction? If you want to talk a little bit about that, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a unique background, one that maybe people when I talk to them, they're like, "What?" And I am, like you said, I am new to Macon. I joined this company in May 2024, so not quite a year, but it's been good. My background though is I was a small business owner in Central Illinois. I own and operate, and I still do, by the way. I own and operate a small chain of bakery cafes,
Yeah.
and I've done that for over a decade. And so, truth be told, I wasn't looking to make a change, right? I was just kind of head down, doing my thing. But I'm entrepreneur, but also I'm opportunistic, and I knew the leadership and the ownership
Yeah.
team at Macon. They have gone through some major growth in the last 3 and 4 years, which is like very cool to kind of watch
Right.
and kind of hear about. And as they've continued to grow, so has their needs. And they kind of needed someone to come on board that could kind of oversee their marketing, their HR,
Yeah.
and their accounting departments. Well, I think in this day and age, I mean, a lot of people they get pretty, specific, like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
I'm just an HR. Hey, I'm just a marketing person. Hey, I just do accounting. And so that kind of presents us some challenges, I think, for employers that are growing but are not, big enough to where they can hire, a head of a department for
Absolutely.
all the groups. But as a small business owner, you have to do it all.
Yeah, those are just
And
three of
and so,
probably the 20 hats that you've worn.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we could talk all day about, small business ownership.
Yes.
But I mean that's the unique thing about my background is that I've done a little bit of everything. And so I'm comfortable going down a bunch of different roads.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable exploring, HR and going down that road, or getting into the marketing space more
Right.
actively. And even like when it comes to, our company's, benefits, like getting involved in that conversation as well. Very comfortable with it all. And so, that's why this has become such a great fit for both of us, for both Macon and me, is that I've kind of fit their need and I can kind of adapt to what they're looking for, in a higher level employee. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's been really great. To like so I still own my company, my business. So what's been awesome is the ownership here has allowed me to slowly move to them, right? So as I'm training up my managers and getting them to do more at my business, then they're letting me kind of slowly move more
I
here
love
Yeah,
it.
into Macon.
it's been
So it's
cool to
been
see that
awesome.
happen, and certainly we've noticed your presence on LinkedIn, and social media, as you're starting to
Yeah.
highlight what Macon does, and being headquartered in Bradford, Illinois, it's a dot on the map.
It is, yeah.
I love it. I have a lot of legacy family history from Little Bradford, Illinois, but to know that Macon started there and is now spread out all over the country in some situations. Give us a little background about what Macon's doing that makes them unique in the ag space, and really where you see the company's headed, because it's been fun to watch the story be told now on LinkedIn.
Yeah, it really is kind of a unique story as well. Making construction, so they are a family-owned business. They actually got it. They were more in the kitchen. They own another company, Cherry Tree Kitchens
Yeah.
is the name of that company, and they were more in that space. The ownership family, the Enders family that owns Making Construction. They are farmers, and they've been in the ag space for their whole lives. And so over the last 15 years, they've kind of slowly gotten, they're still obviously have their kitchen cabinetry business, but they've expanded into, grain storage.
Yeah.
And Macon has grown over, like you said, over the last 15 years now. We've put up over 64 buildings throughout the US. Uh, we are now 155 employees strong.
That's
which
awesome.
is incredible. We've built, as of 2024, would have built 136 million bushels of grain storage.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's pretty exciting. Um, they're growing quite a bit, and we our specialty is flat grain storage. We
Yes.
build hoop buildings. So it's your non-traditional grain storage.
Yeah.
But when you see a building, off in the distance, whether you're driving by on an interstate or a country road or whatever, like you can't miss the buildings because they're
Yeah.
massive and they stick out.
Enormous buildings. Like when you say you built
Yeah.
buildings, it's not like building a house. Like
Right.
this is like multiple football fields of a building.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
it's enormous. Yeah.
Yeah. We finished one up in August out in Iowa. I mean, it's almost 700 feet long. So it's big. They're very cool. When you go in, you look at them and then you go inside and you're like, holy smokes. We finished a building this year out in Imperial, Nebraska for
Yeah.
Frenchman Valley Co-op. They had their local high school football team come in and have indoor practices in there as kind of like a promo to the
Yeah.
community of like opening, kind of doing like a ceremony to, like a ribbon cutting type of thing for their building. And they
Cool.
said they put it on social media. It was kind of fun to see,
It's very
them
cool.
utilize that. So
I mean, it's
yeah,
certainly it's efficient, it's cost effective from compared to your traditional grain storage, but it's safer. It's probably easier to insure, easier to repair than what you'd see from a traditional grain bin.
yeah, and they're fabric covered buildings. So I think
Yeah.
I've seen, some people complain, well, you have to replace. Well, the way we install the fabric covered roofs, if there is a tear, you can replace small sections.
Yeah.
So it's not like a one over. But then my other argument is like, well, every building gets rain damage or storm damage at some point that you have to replace a roof. There was like I know I saw a comment out there, and I'm like, well, doesn't everybody have to replace a roof on their building at some point in their life
Right.
anyways because of damage,
Right.
hail damage, storm damage, something? So that kind of that barrier, that I think the argument that they had was like, it's mute, that's a
Yeah.
mute point. We can
Absolutely.
work past that pretty quickly.
I love it.
Now it's very cool to see you guys continue to grow, and I know as we'll share some after we finish up this video and put it out there, just some of the pictures of some of your projects. It's been very awesome. But Craig, we appreciate you taking some time to talk with us, and I'm excited for
Yeah,
where things are going for you. I know CB, you always like to ask your question as
You.
we finish up this morning.
All right, man. You've either had a good day, a bad day. Is there a quote? Is there a motto that helps you through those days?
but it's funny. So I grew up. My grandfather owned a small business in a really small town, a rural community, similar to Bradford, Illinois.
Yeah.
And he was a Depression era kid. He went through it all, seen it all. And I was fortunate to have spent a lot of time in my youth with him. I worked alongside him all through high school into college. I worked for him at his furniture store. And he used to say, Craig, he would say, some days you just have to grin and bear it. And if you can't grin, bear it. And it's like, and
I
when I
love it.
was younger, I'm like, what is he talking about? Grin?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to smile. You just fake a smile sometimes,
Yep.
right? And in my experience in my retail life of, running a business and dealing with unhappy customers or dealing with really difficult employees,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't want to smile.
Mm-mm.
You're not excited to
Yeah.
be there or what you're going through, but you just got to fight through it. You got to bear it, and you just work through it. And
That's
Amen.
well
really,
said. That's well
Well
said.
said.
it's just sage advice from him that's always stuck with me. And he would say it over and over and over again.
And
And
it's
and I'm
true.
like, all right, no, I get it. I get it now. I'm
Yep.
older, and I'm like,
That was
that
pretty
makes
smart.
sense. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
Well,
Excellent.
yeah.
thank you for sharing that. Really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you bet. You bet.
Thanks, Craig.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. We'll see you.
You too. Thanks again.